The key to starting a business in the 20s is to use all the tools you can. And I think you've got to be really resourceful with things like social media and any changes happening in the social media space. It's not a certain thing whether Instagram or Facebook or YouTube will be the dominant player over the next decade or so. No one knows whether they will be. But regardless, you want to be ahead of the curve with new media. You want to find ways to create great content and get people to connect with your brand. If that's not the baseline of your product and service, then I think you're going to be, most probably susceptible to a lot of problems. And that's true for a lot of business owners I speak to who simply don't have an audience. They don't have people who buy into the brand or don't care. So if you're going to create a business in the 20s, look at social media, look at new media, and build a marketing company around your business, because you always have to tell your story. You always have to share your message. And there's so much positive stuff happening in any business around the world that you want to get behind it. You want to be able to really share the essence of what you do. If you love what you do, if you're creating a business, then don't be afraid to tell that story. And you've got to go out there and be confident and be bold enough to create an environment where people, whether you have 10 followers or 10,000 followers, you want people to get behind what you're doing. And we're starting to see the trends now where a lot of businesses which use social media or marketing as their main platform are able to get ahead, while the ones who don't, they don't have a client base in the end, they don't have customers, and they don't have loyal fans who can go on about it all the time. I'd say that's one of the first things you want to do when you look at building a business over the next 10 years. You want to be bold in what you go after. You don't want to be replicating everyone else's business. Too many times people come to me and say, Joe, I want to start a coffee shop. Well, there's millions of coffee shops. Give me a better idea. Give me a better take on a coffee shop. Give me a better story. If you are going to do things, make sure you add a bit of spice, a bit of energy, and try and create something which is unique and something that you feel people can connect with. If you're doing the coffee shop thing, find an angle, find a better story, because it's more sustainable in the long run. If you have clients and customers who love what you do, life's just a lot easier as a whole, and mostly mentally for yourself. The other thing I'd say when starting a business, go out there and practice. Go and start. Too many people have gone to university and school and they think that's a business. Learning about a business is something you do inside a classroom. You can't learn anything about business in a classroom. That's just a fact. You've got to get out there and do it. You've got to start, have an idea. It doesn't have to be your dream business. Just start something. Go and sell lemonade down the street and find out how that works. Go and find out how to buy some products and sell them online. And if you do that, then you'll start to learn what business really is and all the different intricacies which a business is. It's a living entity. If you think a business is separate to your life, then that's your first mistake. A business is part of your life. It's part of who you are. It's what you do. So I'd say start learning how to connect with people, how to sell your product, how to talk about your product, how to build websites, how to get on social media, how to use maybe traditional media, how do you make ads, what are the different terms which people use, what vocabulary is used in business. Because I assure you, the kids who come out of university and talk to me about business, a lot of business owners aren't using those terms. Maybe on Wall Street and maybe in professional services. But in the real world of business, the vocabulary is very different. And at the end of the day, you're talking to radio stations, you're talking to TV stations, you're talking to marketing companies, you're trying to build a great brand. That means you have to communicate with a lot of people. You have to find out what's happening in the business world. And you can't really do that on the outskirts. You've got to be in it and spending your money and finding out what services work. And I think the sooner you start tomorrow. Just find something you want to do and make a website and see how you can tell that story and share that message. You'll learn really quickly that way. And from there, you get to practice your skill set and craft of running a business. I know a lot of you aren't that passionate about the business side of business. You just want to do what your art or craft is in life. Well, that's fantastic. Go out there and do it. But make sure you're very aware of the business model of what you do, because it's got to be sustainable for yourself. When I started before 5 a.m., I went all in. And it wasn't always sustainable in the early days, because I just wanted to help people. I wanted to share as much of my gift and talent into the world. But over time, we had to create a more sustainable business model, and one where people could be employed globally, all around the world, where we had the marketing budget to do the things we wanted to do, to build the products we want to build. Today we have a design studio, which takes a lot of resources because we have to look at everything from color palettes to design to all sorts of different things which make the products and what you see on our social media platform, the best in the world. That takes a lot of resources. So when you do want to do something around your craft and idea, make sure you have a clear vision and make sure you have a business mindset as well. Throw that in. Don't run and hide from being a businessman or businesswoman. Just factor that into the equation and understand that over time you'll mature, you'll grow, and whatever you're doing will have to be a business. That's just how it is in modern capitalist society. If you are starting a business, and this is something I've said for a long time, you better do something you like. You better do something that you could do 24/7 every day for 10, 20 years. If you feel that you're not that passionate about it, you're just trying to make some money out of it, you're usually not going to have the staying power to go, for hours. And I think that's where most people go wrong. They start a business hoping that it works and they can make money out of it, and then they have a passive income. I'm not big on a passive income ideology myself. I believe you build something, you create something, you share something of value that you want to do as much of as possible. And I think a lot of people starting businesses, they try and make money or they try and do something which will be profitable. I'd rather you did something which at the end of the day allows you to share something that's meaningful to you, and you could do it all day, because a business is a constant headache and it's a constant drain, it's a constant stress, and it's full of frustration. There's a few wins mixed in there and there's some good days, but there's a lot of headaches in a business. More often than not, it's tough. It's not exactly fun. So you better do something you enjoy and something you can replicate every day and wake up to. And no matter what's happened, you've got to be able to wake up early in the morning and keep pushing. So they're the key elements to starting a business in the 20s. Be mindful of what's happening in the economy. We've got automation, which is going to be a big part of the economy. We've got artificial intelligence. We've got changes in terms of a demographic of people in our economy. We've got an aging economy. We've got a workforce at the end of the day who are working less hours each week. So be very mindful of economic and social factors, which is something I've been really hammering on about for a while now, is you've got to really look ahead. This decade is very different to any other decade. So if you build something, make sure it's fantastic, it's remarkable, and people can get behind it, and make sure it's somewhat future-proof, because you will be wiped out sooner than ever before in the next decade if you don't build something that's future-proof and you're aware of the coming changes. And those changes will be drastic and they'll be ferocious like we've never seen before. The sooner you start your first business, the sooner you can get on with it and learn how to do it. And if that doesn't work, get on to the next one, and so on and so forth until you get it right. And that would be true for any other part of your life, but in business it's very true, and that's where I'd recommend anyone starts.